FlossTube. My name is Sarah. I'm from Memphis, and this is my channel about cross stitch. Welcome, welcome. Today is Friday, December the 29th, and this is a FlossTube extra video where I'm going to talk about my 2024 stitchy plans. Wow. Okay, so I have had a really interesting last month or two trying to think about my plans for 2024. I have literally been all over the place. Last year, what my main focus was working down my whips. I wanted to get some stuff finished. So I joined a Facebook group called Whip Warriors. And within that group, I joined a stream where basically the premise is to do a new start, I had to finish something. Now, the year prior to that, so that would have been 2022, I started 62 things. That was a lot for me. And although I don't have any sort of hang up about my number of whips, I do have a predefined area where I would like them to all fit. Okay, so I'm trying to whittle them down. I did a great job last year. My goal was to finish 40 of my old whips in 2024. And I was doing that with a friend of mine, Julie, Kansas City girl in the Colorado world. That was her goal as well. She wanted to finish 40 old whips. While I did finish 40 stitches last year, they were not all old whips. I don't have the exact ratio yet for this video. I'll talk about it when I film my whip parade, and maybe I'll even touch back about it in January, but I forgot to go back and look and see how many of my finishes last year were old versus new. I think we were about down the middle, if you want to know the truth. That's where I think I kind of ended up. Half old whips and half new starts. So I definitely started less than I finished last year. I finished more than I started last year. So that was a step in the right direction for sure. This year, Whip Warriors had some changes within their Facebook group, and they basically aren't going to have the Work Your Whips stream with all of the rules that are much more monitored, right? So we had an album, and we had to like replace things within our album, and we had album checks and all these things. That's not happening this year. However, I would like to stick with the same premise. I would like to try to do a swap, because at the end of the year, I want to have finished more things than I've started. That's my goal anyway. And so then I was thinking about Pam from Just Keep Stitching. She said that she is going to finish or start 24 things in 2024. She made a great video. Go check it out about all of her planned starts for this year. And a lot of people have done very similar. I'm planning to do the opposite of that. I would like to have 24 finishes in 2024. However, I don't think I'll have a problem whatsoever finishing 24 things. I finished 40 things this year, knock on wood. But I really want those 24 finishes to be my old whips, okay? So I was thinking, okay, I'll do 24 finishes of old whips, but I want to have new starts too. Like, I'm so deprived of new starts. So I was thinking I'll just do 12 new starts, because I was watching Jenny and Nancy from the Bougie Stitchers, and they were talking about being very intentional in their stitching and their starts. And I want to be on that wavelength. That's what I want to do too. I want to be intentional about things. And so I thought, okay, so I'm going to choose 12 things, like one per month, that I'm going to start in 2024. Well, I went and started doing that, and I started making a list, and I started going through and also I wanted them to mainly be things I already have kitted, because if any of you all saw my kit parade that I put out back in July, you know I've got plenty to stitch. So I thought, okay, I want them to be kitted things that I've taken the time to kit, that I obviously really want to start for my starts. So I started making a list and pulling things, and then I would be like, okay, so in January I want to start this. Oh, but I also want to start this because this means something to me. And then, you know, I'll have a new start from when I go to this retreat. Oh, and then I wanted to stitch these for so-and-so and this. And then it just started being like, okay, Sarah, so are you going to start stuff all year? Or are you going to finish stuff this year? Okay, so rein it in, right? Okay, so then I also was thinking of another dilemma that I had last year. I had right at 100 whips last year when I started, and out of that 100 whips, give or take one or two, I basically had, I think, 33 that I did not stitch on at all. I did not touch them. I did not make 1 minute of time for them in the whole year. And so then I said, okay, first thing you're going to do, Sarah, is you're going to look at these 33 whips that you gave 0 time to and be like, do you want to still stitch this, or do you want to UFO this? UFO means unfinished objects. And for me, some cases it might be I might give them away to somebody, or I might just keep them kitted up and save them for a rainy day. Like, I know there's no chance I'm working on this anytime soon, but I'm just not exactly ready to let go of this situation. Or it might be like, you know what, I'm going to de-kit this and do whatever I'm going to do with it because it's not going to happen. I mean, so I felt that way about many of them. And one of my really nice FlossTube peeps asked if I would share the charts that I'm UFOing. I'm not going to be sharing my UFO charts. If you notice that they're missing, they're just missing. There's a multitude of reasons why I'm not going to go through that. Just no. I just don't feel like that's something I am going to spend time on going through that. Some things, maybe I was stitching with somebody, I don't want to hurt their feelings, you know, all of that sort of thing, right? So I'm just gonna table those for now. So sorry if you were interested in those exact whips. I mean, if you're a detective, then you'll notice what's not going to be getting worked on. But yeah, I just wasn't really in a good spot to do that or feel like that's something I want to do. So so I had 33 things I did not touch, and I have decided as of right now today that I'm going to UFO 8 of those, which left me with 25 whips I did not touch in 2023 that I do not want to UFO. So how am I going to get myself to work on those is what I was thinking. Like, would I just do a little tiny decisions wheel and spin the wheel? And not only how was I going to get, but like, how much was I going to get myself to work on? Was I going to hold myself to a stitch count? What was the plan? So this is the plan of how I'm going to get myself to touch the 25 whips I did not work on in 2023. I'm going to have a WhipGo board. So I've tried WhipGo 2 times in the past and I have failed miserably. So you know what? I've already failed on these. I'm saying failed, okay? I've already kind of, you know, not done a great job with these 25 whips that I just didn't even touch last year. So let's put them on a WhipGo board. For those of you unfamiliar with WhipGo, WhipGo was thought up by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. She is a FlossTuber. Check her FlossTube channel out. There is a Facebook group called WhipGo. I think I'll try to link it in my description box below, or you could probably just go onto Facebook and search groups and try WhipGo. Anyway, basically WhipGo, she made it like a bingo board, and you number them 1 to 25. There's usually a free one in the middle. I'm not going to have a free one. You can choose. It's your board, so you make the rules. That's the first thing she says. I'm not going to have a free spot because I really have 25 whips. And basically, you just assign your whip a number. Or some people are doing super fun stuff. I'm going to say, like in the past, what I tried the year before, which I really like, was I didn't assign a specific whip. I assigned a category, like a fancy lady, a full coverage, a Halloween stitch, that sort of thing. So I don't always like to follow the rules, even if I'm making them up. So that's what I did to try to get around that. But some of my friends, actually several of them, because I've gotten little messages the last few days, are asking friends to pick a whip. All right, and assigning them a number. So they don't even have control over what they're stitching at all. Like, I just got to have some fun and pick some people's whips. It was really fun. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to be doing. So I made a WhipGo board, okay? And on it, I put all... this was actually on the WhipGo Facebook group under files, like a free one. Everybody does their own whatever. So I just printed one out. And so I've made one of my 25... my 25 whips that I didn't touch this year. I'm going to read them out and I'm going to pop picture. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And these are going to be, this is like my walk of shame. Okay. This is going to be my poor 25 whips that I didn't touch last year. I am going to do them, let's see, semi-alphabetically. I think that'll help make my life easier. So number 1, Around the World by RETM. Number 2, Cinderella's Wishes. It is a Thomas Kincaid kit, Disney kit. 3, Coffee First. That is by, who was that by? It's so cute. I can't remember who that by. Might be Luminous Fiber Arts. Coffee First. Let's see. Number 4 is... Sorry, this whipco board is not ordered. Dandelion Wishes. That is a Rosewood Manor. Put that up there. Number 5. Dinosaur Forest by Owl Forest Embroidery. Downton Abbey. I think it's by Sheena Roberts, maybe. I'll have to put that down here below. It's a little pillow. It's really cute. Flowers Grow Back. That is from my friend Colleen, Rebel Stitcher Designs. It's Cool to Care. That's number 8. That is an old like kit. Gosh, Maggie, my friend Kitschy Whips, she started to stitch along, and it's something about 80s stitch along or something. Anyway, that one. Let Freedom Ring by Leela's Studio. Number 10 was Marvelous World by Lindy Stitches. Number 11 was, it's like a Megara and then like Pain or Panic. You can't get this chart anymore, probably because of Disney copyright infringement, but I started it for my friend Sam, Sammy Liz's birthday one year. I want to finish that one up. I want to make that one into a project bag. 12 is Mrs. Hen, and she is by Stitchy Princess Black on Etsy. 13 was... No Cause for a Llama. That's a Bothy Thread start. I started that one at my very first Steel City Stitchers retreat, my first retreat ever. That was so fun. 14 is a Platinum Jubilee. It was like a platinum stitch for Queen Elizabeth for her Platinum Jubilee. 15 is a Robin Hood sampler by Park Hopper Bart. I was going to turn that into a wedding sampler for my husband and I. So, yeah, that's a good one. 16 was Rosina Dizery. That is a reproduction sampler, stitched, one of the very, very few samplers stitched by Black girls in the United States. And Arlene Cohen, Works by ABC, reproduced that one. That's a special one. 17, Serbian Proverb. That is by Ladi Da. I love that one. I charted that one up with, kitted that one up with MPI Silks. It is gorgeous. 18 was Thurza Priscilla Dawes. That is a reproduction sampler, recharted by my friend Julie, Hemlock and Rye Stitchery. Julie, Kansas City Girl in the Colorado World. You can get that one on her Gumroad, I believe. 19. Sharks and Minnows. This was a Forbidden Fiber Co. kit based off the show Yellowstone, and my husband really enjoys that show. I started that for his birthday. 20. Oh, this is my oldest whip. It's a Heaven and Earth Designs. It's a Story Keep by Story Keep Style, which is like a bookmark by Randall Spangler, and it is called Home is Where the Magic Is. I think that's what it's called. 21. Oh, Strawberry Summer by Owl Forest Embroidery. 22 was The Moons of 2022 by Kathy Barrick. That is one that I started with my Full Moon Stitcher friends. Julie, Kansas City Girl in the Colorado World. Karen of Fox and Rabbit, and Jules Darling. Oh, that one's been on ice for a little bit. Let's see what else. Not because of anything it did wrong. It's just number 23 is a Wallace and Gromit. It's a full coverage, super cute. I got it out of, maybe it was like a Cross Stitcher magazine or whatever. I love that one. It's called Family Portrait. I don't remember who designed that. Number 24 was Tom's Foolery. That's a Hands Across the Sea sampler. That is the first sampler I ever started. It's beautiful. I have it started on a piece of Ballet Slippers by Fox and Rabbit. And last but not least is called Ye Old Noel. This was my experiment piece. It was designed by Beth, Heartstring Samplery, and I'm using like needlepoint floss, and I'm using like a really big count fabric, and then I've got a bunch of negative space in it. I'm really not sure how this is going to turn out now that I've started messing with the needle point a little bit. Like I might need to go back and fill in that negative space when we're done, but we'll see. It's basically going to be stitched all in tent stitch. I think it still counts as a cross stitch piece because, yeah, anyway, it's going to, for my purposes it is. Okay, so those are my walk of shame charts that I did not touch. You will see them being called. So how WIPGO works is every month, the beginning of the month, Jessie Marie, she puts out the numbers, she calls the number, and that tells you what you're going to be stitching on for this month. So it's 2 numbers per month. So here's what I decided. I am not going to assign a certain number of stitches to it, but I'm going to assign 2 weekend days to each WIP. So the first number that's called, I'm going to be like the first Saturday and the second Saturday, and the second one, you know, the third and the fourth Saturday. I would prefer to do that on Saturdays because of some other plans that I have. If it doesn't work out, I can shift it to Sunday. I thought though I would give them a fair shot of some serious work on each like long weekend day, and that way I should have at least 2 weekend days on that piece for the year, unless I really get taken in by it and make some more progress on it. So that was my solution, or my hopeful solution, to touching those pieces that got neglected last year, using WIPGO for that. Okay, so the other thing that I was going to do is I have some focus pieces for 2024. Now, you may have guessed what some of these are going to be, but I'm going to go over them again anyway. The first focus piece is I'm stitching with a whole group of stitchers now, is Sir Thomas of Glendon Place. I'm going to put Sir Thomas's picture up here. Tara from 805 Stitcher asked me, was I interested in finishing Thomas in 2024? And why, yes, I most certainly am. And so we decided we would partition him up, chop him up into 12 pieces. I took a page out of EJ, the Sunshine Stitcher's book, which she's doing a stitch along Rosewood Manor like that, so you can finish it within the year. And I'm like, okay, chop, 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 12. And then I just sort of started telling my other friends that I knew were stitching Thomas, Sir Thomas, if they would be interested. And yeah, we have a chat going, and we're discussing, and not everybody, but a lot of people probably have redrawn their lines to make their portions correlate with where they started on Thomas or what works best for them. I love that because I feel like that really means that they're, you know, wanting to really try this next year, and it's exciting to see everybody's progress. So I will show you where I am started on Sir Thomas. We started this in November, and we thought that would give us plenty of time to get him finished before next November, give us like a month if we needed to do some catch up and some beading and things like that. So like last month, or this month, it's still December, I stitched on him a little bit, but I did not want to do my December homework because I wasn't feeling it, because it was Christmas and I didn't want to stitch on the turkey, okay? I just didn't want to do it. So I did do like a little bit along the top here, but I did have a center start, so I do have a big chunk of him done. I'm stitching Sir Thomas of Glendon Place on, it is the called for fabric is a 28 count Jobelin, I think it's called China Moon, no, China something, white, no, I can't remember. Why am I having a problem with that? I don't know. I say it so many times, but it is the called for, and I'm using all the called for Sullivan's floss, Petite Treasure braids, Silk Lame by Rainbow Gallery. There are some beads that where the holes are. You can see those little squares are going to be filled with beads in the end. He lives on a roller frame. I love my roller frames. They're great for pieces like this or beading, and they work really well with my Lowry stand. And these little nice little scroll rod covers are made for me by Melissa from Shiba Designs, just so I don't get any yuck on him. So that's Sir Thomas. Sir Thomas also lives in this really nice scroll rod cover made by Ronnie of GaRon Totem Bags. I really like this. Keeps him all safe when I'm not stitching on him. So that is one of my focuses for 2024. Sir Thomas. Okay, the next focus is going to be my new year, new start. 2024 is mine and my husband's 25th wedding anniversary. We are high school sweethearts. And so I wanted to stitch this chart, this Bothy Threads Cut Through Wedding, as a wedding sampler. I love it. I love I love him pulling the bells on the church and the socks, and I just love the rainbow. And I love so much about this. So this is the one that I chose to do. It is a kit. I am going to stitch it on kit fabric using the kit floss, all the things. It's appropriately living in a St. Patrick's Day bag my sister-in-law, Rivertown Designs US, made for me. I've got a little St. Patty's Day 4-leaf clover needle minder and a heart because I have been known to use multiple needle minders. I am starting this on New Year's. I would like to finish this in 2024 since that's our anniversary year. So that is another one of my focus pieces for 2024. My next focus piece is one that I borrowed. It's a beautiful chart. It is a Blackbird Designs chart. It is called Strawberry Garden. And, oh, yeah, I don't have the chart in here with me because I do not want to mess it up, but I'll put a picture of it right here. So I have borrowed this from a very sweet Stitchy friend who came to my rescue when I fell head over heels in love with this chart this past spring or summer, fall. Yeah. So I'm stitching this on a 40 count fiber on a whim. I think it's cream and sugar or milk and sugar or milk and honey, or I have to look it up to be sure, but I think it's really, really pretty. I'm stitching it with all of the called for fancy floss. Here we are. Oh, it's so beautiful. I've already had a slight tragedy and had to frog my gorgeous strawberry because I miscounted on this vine, but yes. So this is a high priority focus piece for me for this year, in the beginning of the year in particular, because I would like to finish this by StitchCon. That's the goal, if not sooner, to return this to my sweet friend. This is a beautiful bag that it lives in, made by my friend Tammy Blalock, Creative Country Girl. Tammy makes pretty bags. That one was just perfect for that. That is another one of my focuses. Another one of my focuses. So now I'm on to, this is focus number 4. You see why I really don't have time to start all the things? All right, is another borrowed chart, which is why it is high priority for me. This is Touching the Autumn Sky by Mirabilia. This is an out of print chart, highly sought after. Another very sweet Stitchy friend loaned this to me, and so I definitely want to get this done ASAP. I'm shooting for StitchCon for that one too. My whip is not in here. Well, my whip is not in here, so I guess I'll be posting a picture of my whip up here. I'm stitching this on a piece of a 32 count Snowdrift by Fabrics by Stephanie. I purchased that when I went to Galleria in September and talked to Stephanie about it and said, that is for my Touching the Autumn Sky. Or actually, I couldn't remember. I just knew I needed it. Anyway, it worked out perfectly. Those are the beautiful colors for Touching the Autumn Sky. I love it. It lives in a very, very pretty GaRon tote bag, appropriate for autumn. So that is one of my focuses. So now I'm on to 1, 2, 3. That's my 4th focus for the year. All right, 5th focus for the year, very high priority, is my Christmas stocking for my grandson. And this is what I'm going to work on Sundays. I know Amy Loves Toads works on stockings on Sundays, and I'm going to work on my stocking on Sundays too, at least on Sundays. Let me show you a picture of the stocking that I'm doing. It's from this Better Homes and Gardens Heirloom Christmas Stockings and Cross Stitch. Okay, I think if you know me, you might have heard this stocking. My daughter chose this stocking for me to stitch for my grandson. I shouldn't have offered it to her because I got enabled by watching Brenda the Handwork Maniac. She stitched these for her family, and I think they're gorgeous, and they are gorgeous, but they are not easy. And they are a lot of work, and there are a lot of colors and fractional stitches and all of the things, and they're gorgeous, right? This is the one I'm doing for Brooks Toys and Games stocking. Okay, so I have some plans for this year to make this easier for me to work on, because right now it's just taking me so long. I'm switching colors every 5 minutes. There's so many little fractional stitches in there. I'm stitching this on a piece of, I think it's 25 count mushroom Lugana. So what I've done is I've purchased some of these little knockoff panko organizers, okay, on Amazon. And then I also purchased 100 needles on Amazon. And I'm going to do all my thread on these and have all my needles threaded and poked in the holes so I can just swap colors willy-nilly and make some decent progress on it. In addition, I have also just recently, thanks to my friend Bernadette, learned about like taking pictures of your charts and using like your iPad to mark stuff off, because right now I'm using paper and the chart is really hard to read. It's very, very small. And so with the iPad, you can kind of blow it up, your area you're working on. For Christmas, my husband bought me a little pencil so I can mark them off. And if I don't want to mess something up, I definitely mark it off. It's going to be living in this bag by GaRon Tote Bags, this big bag. It had been living in this beautiful big bag by Lynn X Stitches with these steampunk Christmas on there, but I've just kind of outgrown it with those organizers. So I'm switching bags, and that is a huge focus for me in 2024. I want to get this done. So I'm definitely going to be working on that on Sundays. It may spread depending upon how I see how much progress I'm getting on Sundays on that, because I have another grandson on the way, if you didn't know, at the end of March. So I'll be needing to do a baby sampler and a stocking for that, for him. And so I have to get this one done for Brooks. He needs it before he's 20. So, okay. So that is 1, 2, 3, that's 5 focus things. Those are big things, big stuff, right? One more little thing I really wanted to do is for my mom. She has this pencil tree in the corner of her office that she puts up, and she's got, I can't remember if she has like little cardinal ornaments on it or whatever, but it's anyway, I saw this. My mom is a master gardener. She loves plants. And I saw this chart by Shiba Designs, and they're like Christmas botanical ornaments. And I want to stitch those for my mom to put on that pencil tree for her office at home. So these, maybe one a month, maybe I won't be that regimented, but I want to get some of those done. And so I can take them up to her when I go up there next Thanksgiving. All right, those were my focuses. So you saw my big focuses for the year. Plus, I'm going to do the WIPCO, so I touch all the things that I didn't touch last year. And then I was like, remember all that stuff I said I wanted to start? Or like when I go to StitchCon, I want a new start, right? Because that's kind of the thing you do. Or like I want to stitch something in memory of my grandmother. So I'm going to show you things that I've pulled to start. And I'm going to keep them separate in a little bin. And when I feel that urge to start something new, this is part of me being intentional, I'm going to go to that box and start. Oh, and I forgot to show you. There's already been numbers called for WIPCO for January. So let me show you what I'm going to be working on for WIPCO in January. So the numbers that they called, that Jessie Marie called, were, I think they were, hold on a minute. Where did my WIPCO board go? Aha. They were 9 and 22. So number 9 for me on my walk of shame list was this beautiful chart, Let Freedom Ring by Leela Studio. I love this. I did not get to go see the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia like I wanted to this year, but someday I will. So let's see. I am stitching this on, ooh, and I have tight margins on this, y'all. There's all my pretty floss. Let's see, what am I stitching this one on? This is a Be Stitch Me piece of fabric. It is a 32 count Not Another Sampler by Be Stitch Me. And that's where I am. So that's why I say I have a tight margin right there. It's like 1.5 inches. But, ta-da! Yeah, I like it. It's pretty. Don't you think? Ooh, those colors are so good. I really enjoy it. I can't believe I didn't stitch on this one time last year. Not once. So that will be my January. That was the first number called. And the second one, funnily enough, is The Moons of 2022. It's number 22 by Kathy Barrick. So I started this with my full moon stitcher friends, and I'm not going to do of 2022. I'm going to try to shift that around a little bit and be just doing like moons. That's the chart. Oh, Kathy Barrick is one of my very favorite designers. I love her. Okay, and I'm stitching this on, what's it going to be, Sarah? How good of a memory do I have? I don't know. Maybe not that good. Oh, this is a piece of Fox and Rabbit flannel flower, and I think it's a 36 count. And that's where I am. Yeah, so I'm in that top area there. It's beautiful. Ooh, really pretty, really pretty. So that will be the second thing that I work on for WIPGO in 2024. That will be my number 22 pull. All right, so that's the WIPGO under control. All right, so back to things I want to start if I have the time or the energy or the whatevers for a new start. All right, so I'm going to show you my little pile of my wish list of things that were kitted that I want to start. First thing, I have a lot of these block parties and I have stitched none of them. And because it is my husband and I's special year, our anniversary is St. Patrick's Day, the 17th. So have it all kitted up with the floss and the fabric. It's ready to go. I think I do have the pins. Oh, the pins are hiding behind the piece of wool. Each of the block parties by Hands On Design, they're really cute. They have a piece of wool for finishing, and then they have, you order separately, the little pins to go on top. This one says the 17th. So cute. So if I feel that, I will be starting that. I really want to start both of the Leela Studios, well, all three of the Leela Studios Quakers of the seasonal Quakers this year. So the first one I want to start, I'm going to pop a picture up here because I've hidden my chart for myself. That's one of the things I'm doing when I get back next week. Is I have done a really good job of keeping all of my charts that I've acquired last year in my app, but I have done a very bad job of filing them in my binders. So I'm going to wrangle that under control next week. The first one I want to start is the Spring Quaker by Leela Studio. There it is. Samantha, the Huga Stitcher, she has a sal for this one. Because she lives in Canada and it's cold and snowy and she wanted a happy spring sale, and I can't remember the name of the stitch along. I'll put it down here. You're welcome to join that because that's open to everybody. I'm going to be stitching that one on, it is called for DMC, and then I got this beautiful piece of needle and flax fabric, 40 count, Sleeping Bear. This is a newish color from Rachel of Needle and Flax. I love her fabric. It's beautiful. So that's going to be for the spring. And then Summer Quaker. This is gorgeous. This one came out at Market last year. And I had the pleasure of meeting Leela and talking to her about this start. And how she accidentally started this on a 46 count instead of a 40. And she didn't love stitching on the 46 count. I mean, the result is gorgeous, but it was a bear for her. So, yep, there we are. And she is very, very nice. I like her very much. And I'm going to start this with the call for DMC. Samantha Huga Stitcher is also hosting a stitch along for this. I think this one might have been for her birthday last year. So I'll be hopping on that one too. Go to her Instagram. I know her information is going to be there. Or just go to her FlossTube and get caught up with her there. Needle and Flax, Thornfield. I love this piece of fabric. So I actually had a piece of this fabric for a Liz Matthews chart that I want to start. And I knew this would be what I wanted to stitch this one on too. It's like, of course, not as dramatic as what you're seeing. But it's like, oh gosh, that sandy ocean floor with that white sand mixed in with the dark that you get when you go down to the panhandle of Florida and those beautiful sugar sand beaches down there. So gorgeous. So that makes me think, oh, sorry. Sorry. Winnie. Hold on. Okay, sorry. UPS man. But yeah, Summer Quaker. Woo. So like I said, if these things work out, they work out. If they don't work out, they don't work out. Another one that I really wanted to start is for my grandmother's birthday. It lives in this beautiful GaRon tote bags bag. My grandmother, one of my grandmothers, this was my dad's mother. Her birthday was in January, and I've had this Bluebirds of Happiness by JBW Designs. It was my intention to start this for her last year. She's the one who gave me the little Bluebird of Happiness and told me the story many, many years ago. So I'm going to be stitching this on a piece of Vanilla Cream by Atomic Ranch, 32 count. I got this from Keepsakes. I think you can still get it online from Keepsakes. When it came out, it was their like Stitch Away exclusive thing last year. And I have all of this beautiful fancy floss. Yeah, I was supposed to start this with Zan at a retreat, and anyway, you know, sometimes you're just supposed to get all these things done and you just don't. But this one I really wanted to start for my grandmother, so that one's in the pile, just going in the bin. All right, another one, I've been wanting to stitch this one for quite some time. I bought it years ago, and it's called Bloom and Bugs Vinca. It's by Tell and Emblem. Isn't that so cool? I love this one so much. It is charted in DMC. It looks like one fancy floss. Yep. And then a Krynic. So I've got the fancy floss and the Krynic. I just need to get the DMC and pick out some fabric. I'm feeling like I'm going to be stitching that on a raw, if you want to know the truth. I like the raw linen. That one just... Yeah, Bloom and Bugs Vinca by Tell and Emblem. And Tell and Emblem, they all, Christine, she always does these cool little medals that go with it, emblems that you can stitch on your, you can attach to your chart when you're done. Love that one. Another one that I've wanted to start is this is a hello from, or is it from or by? Hello from Liz Matthews. Sorry, Liz. Sally Shore. I bought this at StitchCon. Maybe I bought it this past year. I love this because the beach makes me happy. And I love that. And so when I was at Keepsakes, I found this beautiful piece of Thornfield by Needle and Flax, 40 count. And I'm going to stitch that on. It's so good. It lives in this super fun Margaritaville bag made by my friend at Stitch and Piece. Yep, check her out on Etsy. She has great bags. Margaritaville. All right, so that's in my wish list pile. Another one lives in a So Much to Love bag. This is by Lindy Stitches. And like I said, I've had this and bought this and all kitted up and good to go. I've got some DMC and some fancy floss. I'm going to be stitching it on some Witchell. It is this by Lindy Stitches, Tread Softly. Oh, let me get the glare out of that. I have loved this. I think I bought this right after this was released too. So, it's so good. So, that's on my wish list of new starts. Like I said, I'm just going to keep these in a little tub, and when the occasion presents itself or the time is right. This was gifted to me by Luca S. last year. I did not get a chance to start it, and I love it. I particularly love all of this snow in the background. Do you even see the tire marks on the road? So good. Super nice kit. Just top notch. Top notch. So I really want to start this one. This one is called Birdhouse. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. This one I just discovered for the first time last year. Some of these are not all, they're not all huge. This one is called Halloween Scissor Fob by Barbara Anna. Isn't that adorable? I love that so much, and I love how it's finished. I love it. I have picked up, it does call for DMC, and then 3 of these DMC color variations. So I've gotten the color variations. I just haven't picked up any of the other floss yet, but that's definitely on my wish list. Another Halloween piece. Let's see what this, oh yes, this is by the Cricut Collection, Witching Time. I wanted to start this one this year too. I saw someone finish this on Instagram. I think it's like Nightmare Before Stitchmas, I think. Yeah, I think that's the name of her Instagram account. I love that clock. It's so good. It's living in a bag my friend Jordan, the Tattooed Stitcher, made. So cute. And I actually have it kitted as far as I have all of my DMC pulled. I probably was just going to grab something neutral to put it on and rock and roll. So that is one that I would like to start. Another Cricut collection that I want to start, that I was going to try to start this November, is oh, Rest and Be Thankful. But it's this pumpkin pie. Oh, I'm gonna have to put a sticker back there, aren't I? Because I'm showing the whole chart. It's this pumpkin pie chart up here. See that? I love pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie is my favorite kind of pie. I love pumpkin. So I think I've decided, it looks like I decided on this piece of Butter Crunch by Needle Bling Designs. And I have the DMC all ready to go. So, yeah. Should the mood arise. This one's also by my friend Bev of Stitch and Piece. This bag, she had gifted me this bag. Isn't that nice? I love it. Ah. Here's another one I wanted to start. It's by Riolis. It's a kit, Snowfall in the Forest. That's beautiful. Now, granted, it's got some of that woolly acrylic floss that I had a hard time with, but now I know, use a larger needle, use a decent sized needle and a needle threader, and life is much easier. So I love that. I think it's beautiful. Just a few more. This one. This is a kit, Sweater Vest Weather by Lindy Stitches. Oh, see, so cute. Came all kitted up with all the stuff to make it. And I've got the DMC. It's all here. It's all here. So that's on my list if I have a chance. And last but not least, I want to stitch this for my son-in-law, my bonus son, my son-in-law. I love these cinnamon sticks by Homespun Elegance, and so I want to do this one for him. So I have it all kitted up. I've got some of that really fat, what is this even called? Ooh. 7-count claustrum in sand. And I've got floss, although I don't know, I might need more floss because that's some big count right there. And I've got Whisper, and then I went to the Homespun Elegance, her Etsy, and I tried to search down as many of these little, she has a lot of charms on her cinnamon sticks. So I try to get a bunch of these charms. I keep my eye out for them because I think I want to stitch more than one of those. They're really cute. This lives in a nice dot goose bag. Oh, that was my list of charms I was working on finding. So yeah. So if I have time this next year to get going on this, maybe, because I also wanted to start, well, I'm not going to talk, well, I am going to talk about it, but I just got that Baby Flake. That's a Christmas stitch that I really want to start too. So you see, I have a little box, a little bucket of things that I want to start. You will notice suspiciously absent. There were no Miras or Noras in there because I have a lot of I have several Miras and Noras started that I really would like to get progress on, that I am going to focus on in Mira May and Nora November, and there may be new starts in those 2 months of a Mirabilia or a Nora Corbett, but I haven't chosen those yet. So yeah, that's where we go. Okay, so far we've got a whip going to catch up my Walk of Shame pieces from last year. We have focus pieces going, my ornaments for my mom, Sir Thomas, Brooks's stocking, my anniversary stitch, and my 2 borrowed stitches, the Strawberry Garden and Touching the Autumn Sky. All right, we've got my wish list of things I would like to start if I could. And then last but not least, I am doing some challenge groups on Facebook. And so one of them is that Whip Warriors group. In addition to the Whip Warriors, there's a segment of it called the Road Trip. So it's a little overwhelming right now. I'm not going to lie. I'm in preparation mode. I missed the first cruise to go to Alaska, but I can still catch the second cruise to Hawaii if I finish 200 more stitches by tomorrow. So I think I've got that. I saw my friend Justine from X's and Hoses trying this too. So that's good. We have moral support. I think it'll get easier as it goes. It's like a road trip with challenges where you go all over Australia. I'm going to give it a try. I might drop out. I might not. I'm going to see how it goes. Sometimes I don't do that well on the challenge stuff. I get a little bit overwhelmed with it and don't want to deal with it anymore. But there are regular games within the Whip Warrior groups, and I'm going to be posting my album and keeping up with my progress there. I also belong to another challenge group on Facebook called Fandom Stitching Central. Now, the Whip Warrior group and the Road Trip group, that's all closed. I didn't realize it closed so early in December. So if you're interested in getting that next year, start looking around for it back about in November. And then they kind of close for it like mid to early-ish December, actually. And then Fandom Stitching Central. This one, I believe you can enter all year. It's on Facebook. And the theme this year is Disney, so I like that. I am on Team Goofy. And it's just fun challenges and stitching and that sort of stuff on there. Kind of give you some prompts. I guess if you were to get a little bit like you didn't know what you want to stitch on, you know, you could, I don't usually have a problem knowing what I want to stitch on, but if I did follow the prompts, I might stitch on a more variety of things than maybe I did in years past. So I'm going to give that a try too. Okay. So, I mean, really, I think that's pretty much it for my plans for 2024. I've got focus stuff. I've got Whip Go. I'm doing Whip Warriors. I'm trying to finish 24 things, 24 old whips in 24. I haven't picked those out yet. That's what I need to do. I'm going to make myself a note that I need to choose goals for my finishes for 24 and 24 instead of kind of just being like, oh, I think I might finish this one or finish this one. I need to sit down and look. Maybe I'll just choose some and maybe some will just evolve naturally. So you may see me come back to my next floss tube and I might touch back on what I ended up choosing for my finished goals for 2024 as for 24 and 2024. That's a mouthful. I've shown you what I would like to start if I can start things. When I get back in town, going to my sister-in-law's for New Year's, I'm going to work on organizing my charts. Everything else in my stitchy area is really pretty good, except I need one more bucket for fabric because I've outgrown that. So I need to, those are things I want to tackle next week. I am also going to be giving trying my hand at a punch needle and a needlepoint next week. So next week I've got big plans next week. Plus I'm filming a whip parade. And coming somewhere near the beginning of the year is going to be my Mirabilia parade. I need to get that one done for y'all. In 2024 so far, I am signed up to go to 2 retreats. The first one is StitchCon in June. That's weekend A. And the second one is Stitching in the Wild, hosted by GaRon Stitchery. That's the second weekend, and that's in September. I'm planning to be attending Market with my friend Leanna Forbidden Fiber Co. and working in her booth with my other friend Zan, Crazy Band Lady Stitches. So I'm planning to go to Market in Nashville. And last year I really had fun going to Galleria and meeting up with Carrie and Whitney of 3 Trail Stitchers. So I would like to try to go back to Galleria again, kind of like I did last year. And that's end of September. That's in St. Charles, Missouri, visiting the Color and Cotton store and all the things. So far, that's it for stitchy stuff because I have some other big stuff going on next year. I have, like I said, it's my 25th wedding anniversary. My husband and his family, we're trying to work on plans to visit, possibly visit Germany. And then, I have, like I said, it's my 25th wedding anniversary. Got a new grandson on the way in March. Got a fishing / Disney trip to go on in June. And I would also like to take some time with my mom and go out to my aunt's in Oregon and have like a retreat sort of visit where I'm gonna learn to quilt and we're gonna go to the coast and all that sort of stuff. So I have a lot of other travel plans not retreat oriented for next year. So I'm not sure which other retreats, if any, I'm going to be able to attend, just because some of those plans I'm talking about haven't been nailed down yet. And so they're kind of, a lot of them seem to be in the fall, and that's when a lot of retreats are. Like I would dearly love to attend Amy and Maggie's Queen City Stitch Retreat next year, and Colleen's Rebel Stitcher Retreat, but they're all kind of in that same, and Pam Stitch New England Retreat. They're all kind of jammed in this same time when I might have some more family-oriented trips going on, so I might have to take a break from those for the year. But for right now, I know I've got StitchCon and Stitching in the Wild going on, and I'm very excited, and Market, and hopefully Galleria, because that is a close one for me where I could even just take a day or something and make that work if that weekend works out for me. So, you know, there's tons of stitching retreats out there, and I'd love to go to them all, of course. I just don't know which ones are going to happen this year, but we'll just see. We'll just see. Those are my 2024 plans for stitching. What are you doing for 2024? I would love to hear. Is there anything in my video that you had questions about? Anything more that you wanted me to elaborate on? I'm sorry, I forgot to do that about what my pieces were going to be goal-wise to finish in 2024. I really think that would be helpful for me to kind of put a pin on some stuff. Some of these plans might just poof, go up. I think my focus pieces are not going to poof, go up. Those are, especially the stocking and the 2 borrowed pieces. Those 3 are like major. And then my anniversary stitch. I mean, they're all, you know, so I don't think they're going to poof, go away. Yeah, but so what are your plans? I would love to hear about it. Do you know of any other FlossTubers that are putting out videos that I might have missed about their plans? I love planning videos. They're great. I think Catherine, the Needleberry Stitcher, is going to be doing one. I don't know. I just started watching her whip parade earlier this morning, and she was talking about that. So, yeah, I love it. I love this time of year. I love all the whip parades and all the planning videos, and everything is super fun. So there's plenty of stuff for you to watch. I don't have any brand newbies for to recommend to you, because really, if you just put in your search engine whip parades or 2024 plans or whatever, you're going to get a ton of great stuff to watch, and definitely will pop on some new people that way. So yeah, I think that's everything, y'all. I mean, I probably missed something. Oh, I am going to be using my Book of Days. Well, that, okay. Last year I used my Book of Days pretty darn faithfully. I mean, I kept up really well. So, and it helped me a lot when I was filming my FlossTubes, and to see what I had worked on in the past month, and when I was counting out my finishes for the year and my starts and all that thing. So I have a new one, the 2024 Book of Days. The format is the same as the years before, and put my stickers in there, write that down. I don't write a whole lot of information in these books other than like what I've stitched on, when I started it, when I finished it. It's pretty basic for me, and I like it that way. But they do have a bunch of little extra things in the back where you can write about retreats and your plans and all the stuff. So yeah, so I'm going to use Book of Days again, and my goal is to FlossTube record twice a month. So I think one near the beginning. Let me think how that. One's going to be more mid-month, and I think one will be an end of the month wrap up with the plans for the upcoming next month. I think that's how it's going to go. So kind of like mid and then near the end of the month. That's the game plan. Okay. Fingers crossed. Anyway, thanks for sitting through my 2024 plans, or my wish list of plans, or all of the things with me. Like I said, I have a whip parade that'll be coming up next week. It'll be coming the week of New Year's. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fun year, right? Lots of stuff going on, lots of stitching getting done. I've thoroughly enjoyed the Instagram and the posts. So if you look for more frequent updates from me than on FlossTube, you can always come over to my Instagram. There's information above. I try to post my news starts, what I'm working on, what my friends are doing. I keep highlight reels, you know, based by subject, like all of my fancy ladies are in one spot and all of my Christmas stitching is in one spot and Halloween and that, so you can just kind of see what's been going on and what's up. And yes, as always, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day or night, whatever it may be. Enjoy your stitching, take care, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.